And you can remember it. And so when you paint yourself into a corner, that's how you can get out.
This is a favorite song to bring in class, the intersensitivity class, where we're learning the RUCAT formula. We bring in the song to really hit it home. Thank you so much, Anna.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
Our inspirational reading this morning comes from Who is With Me? By we say Reverend Dr. Ann Meyer McKeever. This is on page 140. It's under the chapter of Cain, C-A-I-N. If you don't remember what that is, get the book. Read all about it.
Yeah.
This is in the words of Ann Meyer McKeever. It had been told to us many times that TIC was the Jesus teaching for the New Age of Aquarius. The Christ power has come in at the beginning of each age to usher humanity into a higher level of understanding and experience of God. Jesus brought in the power at the beginning of the Piscean age. Now, in the beginning of the age of Aquarius, Jesus was back again with a new message. The former purpose of Jesus' appearance on earth was to show humanity what a Christ was, and how the Christ consciousness faced every sort of situation of life on earth, even pain and death. Now, in the New Age, Jesus was back on earth to teach us that every person is a Christ, and to help each one make that conscious contact with their own inner Christ. The first lesson of Jesus, which the masters called page 1, was for the people to witness a Christ in action. And the second lesson, called page 2, was that everyone was to be a Christ. That was a great warm-up for our speaker this morning, who is a long-time member of the Teaching of the Inner Christ. She has been a minister with the Teaching of the Inner Christ for many years, and has come all the way through the leadership roles. Speaking on the glorious dual life, please welcome with me Reverend Elaine Fuller-Zachey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I'm happy to be here. Happy Awareness Day. Ann Meyer McKeever, Ann Remington at first, as a child, states that she remembered always having carried on a constant conversation with God. Constant. She felt God with her and surrounding her. Although her parents weren't religious or churchgoers, her father walked them to school, Ann and the others, to school on Sundays, to Sunday school on Sundays, and treasured the Bible that the church gave her at Sunday school primary level graduation. As a child, she did not yet have the vision of the glorious dual life she was here to teach us, but she was on her way. Ann's mother had given piano lessons to various children, and Ann herself was a devoted student She practiced 3 hours or so every day and even composed her own pieces while very young. Anne and a friend also participated in a local passion play. They were little Israelites. Anne was so involved with the crucifixion scene that she cried intensely. She felt it. She felt it. Why? Why was she so involved? Why was she so intensely pulled by spiritual truth from such an early age? Anne's spiritual pull crescendoed when she and her husband, Bill Rosser, were attending a concert on October 9th, 1962 at the Russ Auditorium and the San Diego High School. Bill was helping the Civics Music Society by punching people's tickets when they arrived, so Anne had gone in to sit down in a middle row seat and leave a seat open for Bill. 3 people came in. They sat next to Anne. Here's Bill's seat, and here the 3 people sat. The man who sat next to her was a tall, thin, well-dressed man. She could instantly tell that he was a gentle, peaceful leader, but she didn't know who he was. She sensed his spirituality, as well as his ability to create whatever he wanted by thinking it into universal mind and calling it forth to manifest. Anne was attracted to him, and she knew that he was also attracted to her. She felt his spiritual power and realized that he communicated mentally. Then he transmitted the power to her that transformed her and many others as the years went on. During that night, he opened Anne's 3rd eye and her heart chakra. The next morning, she discovered that he talked to her mentally, with her actually, telling her of just wonderful things, new things that she had never thought of. And what is this? Who is with me? We can go into who is with me and just read all sorts of adventures about this, things that really happened. You know, this night at the auditorium and on. Beautiful. Anne states, I knew that we human beings are not mere humans, but that each one of us is a stream of consciousness from the highest level of vibration down to the physical level. We are each an individual level of vibration down to the physical level, with an individual body and identity on each level. Each of our individual bodies has its own name, and our human name, such as Elaine, is supplemented by many of these inner names. Therefore, each of us has innumerable bodies on innumerable levels of vibration and innumerable spiritual identity. My own thought about this, try this on for size. Instead of specific individualized bodies, why isn't there a stream of body? A stream. Where does one body end and the other begin? What is the cutoff point? There's not one. But when we think in human terms, it kind of helps us to see individual cutoff points. Sometimes. Well, this realization started the teaching of the inner Christ, which Babaji channeled through to Anne. He was also channeling it to Pete Meyer. He had been channeling this through to him for several years. So Anne and Pete Meyer were married. Oh, first she and Bill got a divorce. Okay. And then Anne and Pete Meyer were married on December 17th, 1963. They channeled Babaji and other Christ beings to formally found the teaching of the inner Christ, which was incorporated in 1966. Peter gave the first TIC talk, The Christ Mind. It was on the first Sunday service in spring of 1965. The first course they taught, it was Inner Sensitivity 1 and 2. It was in 2. Now we have it Inner Sensitivity, but at that time it was 1 and 2. It taught students to communicate with their inner Christ, to identify their inner Christ. And so here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Thank you, Anne Meyer McKeever. Thank you, Peter Meyer. Thank you, Babaji, and other wonderful Christ. TIC focuses on the glorious duo life, as Anne called it. That is, one who communicates with a person who communicates with their Christ self, the spiritual essence within, and acts on that communication, uses a scientific prayer because it works, and realizes their Christ essence. This is living the duo life, right? Aware of living earthly life in the here and now, while as their spiritual Christ self, while being both, but actually without a division. It's a glorious duo life. We're here, and we're spirit. This goes beyond race mind belief about good and evil to live in Christ mind awareness, the level of knowing perfection now. God is perfection everywhere now. Anne Meyer McKeever stated that again and again and again. I heard it. So did some of you. Perfection. The Christ-aware person sees everything and all beings as they really are. Perfect expressions of perfect God. The Christ mind is aware of infinite love, harmony, peace, good, power, truth, intelligence, perfection. Now. Now means now, right? It's not yesterday. It's a second, and this second keeps going and going. So now is now is now is now is the nowness of existence. We all seek this Christ mind, and it also pulls on us. Each of us is a perfect spiritual being. And we're having a human physical experience here on earth. How cool is that, huh? TIC instructs those who desire to contact their spiritual center and to verify that it is on the Christ level, to get a name of the spiritual center. And, again, it is on the Christ level, the level of Jesus and Babaji and other Christ masters. I came here searching for my perfect spiritual home. I had an intense desire for a greater spiritual life, but didn't know what. I was finishing up my graduate degree at San Diego State, and in my search for my next step of life, I'd belonged to various spiritual organizations and churches. And they were steps. They were satisfying initially, But then I always reached a point at which I needed to go on and find something else. Before I investigated spirituality, I was thinking, well, maybe it'll be something political after I complete my master's degree, but it wasn't. It was going in a different direction, spiritual direction. And I finished up one, and then I realized it just wasn't going to happen for me there. And I came to TIC. I was driving home one night, and I passed it, Teaching of the Inner Christ, in Lemon Grove, because I would drive past it frequently. And I thought, okay, the sign said that classes were starting. So I investigated about it and came to TIC and took classes. When I came to TIC, I found out about the Christ essence of myself, as well as others. And it all made perfect sense to me. I guess to some people, well, I've heard that to some people, they have a challenge because it doesn't, it's different from what they've been taught, from what we've been taught. But it just made sense to me, the way it was presented. I mean, if God is perfection everywhere now, where is everywhere not? When is now not?
Mhm.
Everywhere is everywhere, including here. Now is the constant flow of beingness. So I took inner sensitivity. And Meyer McKeever was my teacher. Oh, so I knew Anne. She was my teacher. So I took inner sensitivity from her every time I possibly could. Each time I took it in a new consciousness, so I went even deeper into its truth. So it's good to take inner sensitivity again, because each time you understand it more, and each time we understand it more, each time we apply it to ourselves and apply ourselves to it more, stronger. And taking it from Anne, I just hung on to every word and loved learning that I am a Christ, as is everyone. It woke up something in here and in here. And I knew this is where I belonged. I had found it. The other teachings, including academic, these were steps. I needed these. What were your steps to get here? What did you need to experience and to learn and to grow into in order to make it here? We all have that. Well, I see the Christness, I guess you would say, of all. I see it easily, I see it clearly. It's just a breathing in and out of the one omnipresent God. The existence of it all. It's life living itself in various forms, including me, here and now. It's revealing constantly that life is holy and is God. All of it. I mean, everywhere. There's no division in reality. There's no division in everywhere. It's all God. Somehow, it just is. We are all living the glorious dual life, too. All living a spiritual life while also being physical. How are you living the spiritual life and the physical life? Do you see it divided? It's not. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. God bless.